As of the recording of this video, HAILIE DEEGAN is still looking for a NASCAR ride for the 2023 season. She has a contract with Ford, but with so few Ford teams in the Truck Series, many are questioning if she will have enough funding to jump up to Xfinity next season, or if she'll have to convince a truck team to convert to Ford for next year. Today, we'll break down where HAILIE DEEGAN could end up racing in 2023 on Shifting Gears. I'm Alan Bailey, and before we get started, make sure you smash the subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest videos, and log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Oh, I did not want to make this video. Sincerely, I wanted to wait until HAILIE DEEGAN announced her 2023 plans, but since so many people are speculating as to where Deegan could end up in 2023, I decided, you know what? I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. My monkey's my circus, my monkey's my circus, right? So let's recap everything that's happening. For the last 2 seasons, Deegan has driven the number 1 Ford for David Gilliland Racing. Well, since Kyle Busch and all the Toyota drama happened, Toyota essentially bought David Gilliland Racing and turned it into Tricon Garage, which is basically Team Toyota. For the life of me, I don't know why they didn't just call it Team Toyota, but fine, whatever. And with that move, Deegan is essentially out of a ride. She can't stay with Toyota because she has a contract with Ford. So you'll ask yourself, well, how many truck teams are running Ford in 2023 officially? As of the recording of this video, 1. The defending truck champ, Zane Smith, and the number 38 Ford. Now, that organization could potentially expand to 2 teams next season, but I highly doubt it. Reports earlier this season actually had HAILIE DEEGAN jumping over to Stewart-HAAS Racing in the Xfinity Series for 2023, but those talks unfortunately fell apart because Tony Stewart inevitably won the battle with Gene Haas and put Ryan Pierce in the number 41 Cup car for the 2023 Cup season, kicking Cole Custer back down to the Xfinity Series full-time in the 00. Essentially, that 00 car was for Deegan, and frankly, kudos to Stewart-HAAS Racing and Tony Stewart, because Cole Custer will be a Final Four contender. He will contend for wins and a championship in the Xfinity Series in 2023, hands down. And if he doesn't, then the kid forgot how to drive and needs to just plain out get out of NASCAR. I don't think that's the case, though. From a business racing standpoint, it made all the sense in the world to put Cole Custer in the 00 instead of Deegan, not knocking Stewart-HAAS for that one. Riley Herbst drives the number 98, with Monster primarily already on that car, and Terrible Herbst brings his own money. That is essentially a ride that he's paying for himself, and frankly, it makes a lot of sense for Stewart-HAAS to go ahead and continue to cash those checks from the Herbst family. Nothing against Stewart-HAAS for that one, but unfortunately that leaves HAILIE DEEGAN out in the cold. Now, it is still possible that she can find some sponsor dollars and jump into the Xfinity Series full-time in 2023, but the closer we get to Daytona, the more I think that's not gonna happen. It's significantly more expensive to run in the Xfinity Series than the Truck Series, and frankly, it's easier to go out and basically convince a truck team to switch over to Ford for 2023, and that's the rumor mill that kinda got kicked up this last week. I saw a handful of rumors, and I heard from a couple of sources that unfortunately I can't name, and I know you, internet, you don't know how reporting works. If I tell you so-and-so at so-and-so company told me that this was happening, guess what? So-and-so's looking for a new job on Monday. I don't want to do that to anybody going into the holiday season. Maybe that's how you work, internet, but that's not how I work. But yes, I have heard from one source that Deegan is talking to a truck team with Ford involved in the negotiations that would essentially convert this team over to Ford in 2023. Now, in the Truck Series, that is not that hard to do. Yes, it's costly, but essentially you're label slapping on the trucks themselves. Now, what do I mean by that? Essentially, front clip and that rear bumper clip need to get changed out, and some new stickers need to get printed out, because the engines and the chassis themselves are the exact same. The latest rumor mill actually has Deegan jumping into a ThorSport racing truck in 2023. Now, is this possible? I guess anything is technically possible, but let's look at ThorSport's team right now. Matt Crafton has been in the 88 truck for literally 20 plus years, longer than HAILIE Deegan has been alive. I think Crafton's going to come back with Menards on that truck. I don't see him going anywhere. I don't see Menards going anywhere, although nothing has officially been announced. You got Ben Rhodes in the number 99, who finished second in the truck points, who almost won a championship. And honestly, I think he's safe. I don't see him going anywhere. Ty Majeski in the 66 did the same thing, although yes, he didn't have a great championship race, finished 4th out of the championship Ford, but still made the final 4. I think he's safe. The guy on the hot seat is the number 98, Christian Eccles. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be back next season. That's kind of this is the guy that's probably out of a ride for 2023. And honestly, I don't know. It's a coin flip. Who's better of a driver, Christian Eccles or HAILIE Deegan? And I know the internet's going to go ahead and jump on Christian Eccles being the better driver because the internet is full of people who are not racist and not sexist. Why do you ask? But yeah, on paper, Christian Eccles does have a little bit of a head start over HAILIE Deegan, but he's also been racing in the Truck Series longer and, frankly, racing in stock cars a lot longer than HAILIE Deegan has. So I do expect him to be better, but maybe it's time for a change. Maybe Ford wants her in that number 98. I don't know. That's the latest rumor that's gone around, and I don't necessarily know if I believe it. I feel like ThorSport jumping over to Ford is not likely. Possible, yes. Likely, I don't necessarily believe it, man. I'm not liking this one. What are the other options for Deegan? Honestly, convincing another team altogether to jump over to Ford. And honestly, you could throw a dart at the team chart and you could pick a team to talk to in order to convert them over to Ford. I'm sure Ford is going to throw a bunch of money at them, but it goes back to a bigger problem. Ford's not looking for another team just for HAILIE Deegan necessarily, but they're also looking for, frankly, another team to have development drivers come from. Because Zane Smith's the only driver in the Truck Series right now who's going to be driving for Ford officially in 2023. Ford definitely needs to find another team in order to be its quote-unquote flagship team in the Truck Series. They lost David Gilliland Racing when they jumped over to Toyota, and they haven't filled that void yet. Not necessarily. Frankly, if Ford really just wanted to focus on one team, then yeah, dump a lot more money into Front Row and go ahead and up that program that just won the championship. I think that that's the smarter move to do. And if I'm Ford, I'm throwing all the money at that organization and trying to up their truck program to frankly develop Deegan, but also expand to maybe even a 3-truck organization at some point this season or next season, at least part-time, in order to get your Cup Series drivers down into the Truck Series to give them an opportunity to race in the Truck Series at some point, but also assess the caliber of that team. Now, I don't think that ThorSport is necessarily the team for that. They kind of already have a full house. Personally, I would love to see Front Row expand to a 2, maybe 2.5 truck team. And when I say 2.5, I mean 2 full-time trucks with a 3rd part-time for those Cup and Xfinity drivers to race in. And the monkey in the room is that the Truck Series is filled with drivers who do not race with respect. Essentially, from 10th on back is just bumper cars, but a lot more expensive. And slowly but surely, the Truck Series is devolving into essentially the ARCA Series 2.0. No one wants to see that. As far as HAILIE Deegan is concerned, really there's only a couple of options. She can either jump into the Xfinity Series in the 07 Ford, which is still likely if she can find the sponsor dollars, or with Ford's help convince a truck team to either jump over to Ford or find a lot more money from Ford to expand Front Row into a 2-truck organization for 2023. I honestly hope that that's the route that she goes for her sake, because you know she'll be getting decent equipment without hurting Zane Smith's program. But it all comes down to money and how much money Ford wants to invest in the Truck Series in 2023. But I want to hear from you. Where do you think HAILIE Deegan will end up racing in 2023? Do you think that she's going to be in Xfinity in the 07 or another car? Or do you think she could end up a potential 2nd truck with Front Row Motorsports in the number 38? Or do you think that she could end up in the 98 with another organization jumping over to Ford for 2023? More importantly, if you're Ford, what do you do? Let me know in the comments down below. It could end up on the show. You can also help support the channel for free by hitting the subscribe button, liking this video, and sharing it on social media. It means a lot, so thank you so much. You can also follow me on social media at HeyAlanBailey and log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Thank you so much for watching. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see ya at the track.